right, so live from Pahrump, it's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday with your hosts Matt Mattoon
And Logan Tyler.
and we have a special guest on today. You might have heard of him before. His name's Jimmy Lewis. He's calling in on a Zoom call from Oregon, right?
I'm hiding behind a mask because I'm in an airport.
You're having a good time, right?
I rode dirt bikes for the last 2 days, so that can't be too bad. Hey, we got Trevor here too. He's wearing a mask.
Honda mask.
He's got a Honda
There you
mask on. He's not being brand loyal here.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah. Well, we do have some questions about his brand of choice, so we can't.
Oh,
get
his
into
brand
those,
of choice.
Hi, Brent.
Yeah.
People, can you hear him? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear him just fine, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So this might actually work out better than we even thought. So, yeah, because this is our first time doing this.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. Just
Cool.
remember, you're doing a podcast, and you have to keep talking.
Oh yeah. No,
Don't expect
worry.
me to help you out here. Hey, you want to see video of me riding the bike? Oh, where did it go?
They're the same people.
Yeah, we can't talk about it that much.
Okay. Yeah. I heard. Yeah, you can't talk about the bike, but you can post about it, but you can't talk about it specifically, right?
Yeah, no, we can show videos of it, right?
Okay.
We can show videos of it. We just can't give you like specific information on exactly how it works because those are technically embargoed a little bit for till what, Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. So right
Okay.
after you go see what all the other guys say, you can see what we say, and then you'll know our impression was the best one.
Okay. I got it. George, let me know if the volume is. I turned it up a little bit. Let me know if it's better or not. Apparently, I'm too quiet. The exact opposite of the problem we were having before.
Yeah,
So,
you can see pictures of me eating a banana on the internet if that interests you.
I did see that. No, there was an interesting little caption about it too. So I don't know. If
Yeah,
saw
you
the
got to be
caption.
careful of me eating a banana. Well, what was that whole thing about?
Just can't be eating a banana.
You just eating a banana. At least
Okay.
it wasn't like a beer.
Right. Well, it was at a media event, right? So you can't drink beer there, right?
No. Yeah. Uh-uh.
Yeah. Well, I'll have you know that I did resist the temptation to break into your tequila for the show tonight since I'm in your spot, and
Oh.
the tequila is looking really lonely right now. But I did resist the urge.
That's good. You got to keep everything on point. You know, it's your job is a lot tougher now. You're multitasking. Hey, the studio looks really good on the screen. I never get to see this. I'm usually
thanks.
on the other side.
Logan set up these lights, and then I put in a little input on them as well. So I think see what happens when you just leave Logan and I to it. It everything turns to gold. We come up with
It
new
gets better?
segments. Yeah.
Okay, do you guys have a segment or something?
Well, we do have once you have to get off the show, we do have our own little Rooster Endo segment we're gonna do, and then if the people want it, because we do. We do cater to our audience. We can tell some stories we do have some stories we can share.
Since I'm not there, their stories like they're about me, right?
They could be about you now that I think about it. No, we were
Yeah.
gonna make it a little bit more recent, more current news. We talk about the Alpine Star Gear and Show and how I almost showed up 2 hours early with
Because you were excited. It was a new thing.
Well, I was excited, but also the GPS. I looked at the GPS the night before, and it said 4.5 hours. I thought it was just 4.5 hours without traffic. Well, it turns out that was 4.5 hours with traffic the night before. So when I went and picked up Logan, it went from 4.5 hours to 4 hours, and I was like, "Oh, well, it might as well just go anyway." So we made like how long of a stop at Chaparral? Like 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made a good stop at Chaparral to try and pass the time, but we still ended up showing up at the event, I think, over an hour, maybe hour and a half early.
Yeah, at 3:00.
Yeah. So it was.
And then you
early.
geeked out on the bikes that were there and all the stuff.
Well, yeah, we were geeking. I was geeking out over the cake bikes. I really wanted to try one, but they weren't doing demos because they said it was only the bikes they'd brought weren't for they weren't for motocross. So they were just there to kind of like show what they were all about. The one guy said I can message him and he would want to he could set me up with a demo, but I didn't really kind of believe him at the time.
So you didn't do any parking lot roosting?
No parking lot roosting. No, not in the mom car. No.
Right. Did you tell anybody what this show is about? Like what did you introduce Tech Talk Taco Tuesday properly? Because like you guys are claiming you've got it on point there. And
Yeah,
I still have been listening to the show, and we've talked about like driving, going to Chaparral, cake. We don't even know what cake is.
Yeah, the new electric dirt bikes.
Electric dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
New format.
And we everybody wants me to talk about what I can't talk about, which I might talk about, but they'll have to watch later. But Logan, what's this show about?
Dirt bikes and dirt bike related products.
There we go. That's good.
Glad I know.
Yeah. Now Trevor knows what show he's on.
Okay. This show
Yeah,
he was on a couple weeks ago. He now knows what it's about.
Well, he was just, playing confused devil's advocate here. What we want the segment of where you get our delayed plane here earlier so I can get my ass back to the stupid hot desert and so I can sleep in my own bed tonight. That'd be really good for me.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if you could talk to the pilot, there is that airport, by the chicken ranch, so they can probably land you a little closer to your house.
I'll jump out of the damn plane at that point. But first we have to get
that runway looks like it's in prime condition.
No, there's some potholes in that thing, bro. Okay. So you guys have your segments. What else do we Logan? Like, what if I wanted a beer right now?
We got no peanut gallery, so I would have to grab it.
There is no live studio audience.
Dude, like, what is $8.75?
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, Trevor's broke now because I made him buy me a beer, and we're at an airport. So
why didn't you buy your own beer?
Because they have these apps that you have to use. Like they can't show you a napkin because it's like you could get contaminated from it, and so you have to scan it. And this is beyond my technical know-how. Like, so he had to do all that.
Okay.
You can't even pay with money. You have to pay with
with an app now.
Something like that. So
really,
I'm
the Asian kid.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had the Asian kid take care of it. Even though he can't program a ECU on a motorcycle.
Nope.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Sorry, I struggle with that too, Trevor.
Hey, do we have any chats or anything going on? Or
we do have some chats actually. There's one guy asking about. He said we should talk about Triumphs. MFHY Moto channel said we should drink more.
Well,
Victor,
I can't. Okay, so right now you got to through some sort of digital app send money to the Portland airport, and then I'll go get a beer.
What's their PayPal? What's their Venmo?
Trevor 100-224.
Okay,
there we go. Everyone should just send it to him, and then and there we go. We'll buy you drinks and stuff.
Yeah, don't they have like waitress service here or something?
Sure, if you had the money, they could.
Yeah. So okay, let's get into the questions.
Okay.
What do we got going?
So Logan.
On the dirt bike Instagram post, JK Jerome, you might not be able to answer this one, but how does it feel on the bottom end of some bike?
Of some bike?
Yeah.
Good. Actually, I'll tell you, I'll answer the question. The easiest question to answer on that whole thing is like, read what we wrote and on Dirt Bike Test on the website. Go to dirtbiketest.com, see the preview that we wrote. What we call it, a preview or if George is out there, he can probably, put that link up someplace. Who actually does the link? George is the one that's always putting the links up, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So George will put the link up. He's probably laughing at me right now because he's like, haha, you have to wear a mask. But go read that, and the places where I say allegedly and claimed and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because this is the stuff that they claimed. It's good. They did that stuff. So when they talk about something claimed horsepower increase, claimed torque, claimed weight, fuel, claimed everything, their claims have been verified by people. Yeah.
By certain people. Okay.
By certain people. Allegedly.
Got it. So it wasn't just a spec sheet, and it actually was pretty pretty spot on.
There, yeah, the stuff that I mean, usually they overshoot that stuff, a lot of times. But no, I think they, the claims if someone were to have ridden the bike for the last 2 days and put how many 7 hours on it? 6.9 hours on that bike. They would probably say, I guess, I mean, on Thursday morning, they'll tell you everything. They would probably say that the claims are substantiated.
Okay.
Does that answer the question, Logan?
Are
we getting thumbs ups? That's all I wanted. I want to see thumbs up flying off the screen.
Well, Mike P did say awesome. And then
awesome.
MFHY Moto Channel did say he enjoyed the beta ride. So
yeah.
Oh wow, you're looking at yourself.
Yeah,
wow.
that's what we're doing here. Okay, there, the thumbs ups things. Look at that. Look at them right there. Look at that. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's our whole life right there.
Yeah. So I'm learning hosting and producing is there's a lot going on here because I have almost the same amount of monitors in front of me.
Right.
But we're doing good. It's actually pretty fun. It brings a whole new element to it.
Yeah, this place is almost like a library, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like all quiet here. We're the noisiest people in the place. So okay, next question.
Rowdy Smith _472. Does it give the Yamaha a run for its money?
Thursday. There'll be a video, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We touched on that.
Okay, because that was something I was wondering myself actually. So
that's what everybody's going to wonder. And here's the thing: it's like, so when you go to these introductions and stuff, and you're riding only one bike, and at this case, at a track that you're not super familiar with, different traction, different everything, you can't, you can kind of speculate, but you can't actually say right then and there, this is the way it is, and this is, you have an idea. But unless you have those two bikes, that's what I always say about testing, unless you have those two bikes, the same track, same location, same day is better than different days. But having experience on the two different bikes you're comparing, so you can compare them, and we can all speculate and do stuff, but it's you need to have a you can't do a comparison without doing a comparison,
without having them back to back.
I'll tell you something else. This is truth. Somebody should ask me about how fast I was at the track. If they ask me about how fast I was at, I'll drop some info that's just going to be mind-boggling. And I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to hear about you. I just want to hear about the bike.
He's mind-blowing. Actually, we possess some video that we may or may not be able to. I think it might get leaked.
On accident?
On accident, yeah. Well, nobody told me I couldn't.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all right. We know a plumber to fix leaks, but I don't know if we want to fix this one.
Right.
Okay.
Next.
Damon _Ross_2. How is the power delivery? Does it have good bottom end?
Read the press release.
Yes.
Read the press release.
Okay.
We're not answering. They answered the questions before we even rode the bike.
That's true.
Yeah. So we're totally treading on pretty good water here.
Okay.
Gizola, how's the clutch feel with it being a cable?
That's kind of specific about something, but it feels like
it doesn't have to be about this bike, does it? I mean, any clutch can have any cable clutch, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Feels like, let's just say if you had a bike that had like a good clutch and you didn't care how it was activated, it doesn't matter. It could be activated by little fairies that fly between your fingers and the clutch magically, and they do it all. Or maybe there's a giant chain that goes from your clutch hand down there. But it doesn't matter what the activation is. It's the clutch is good.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? I hope not.
You kind of lost me a little bit, but I'm also keeping up with the chat.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's okay. It's okay.
I like cable clutches myself.
I had no problems with any cable clutches in the last 48 hours.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I would like to throw in that Heather Lewis did ask, you were as fast as an old man on a Honda.
I was fat. Old. No, I'm the old man. I was riding hot. I didn't get the question. So she wants to know how fast her husband is.
I think she wants to know how fast the old man was.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I think it's one and the same.
like, I passed some pretty big names today. Like the
Okay.
only guy I didn't pass today was Trey Kennard, because he was out there, because he helped with development stuff. And the only reason I didn't pass him is because he wouldn't suit up and ride today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
Okay. I mean,
Absolutely true.
okay.
Yeah, there were some other big names out there, and I blew by. Like,
Blew by
and
all
they
of
were
them.
on the track and they were pinning it, and I
It-
had a lot more in the tank.
Were you on the Were you on a 450 at that point, or?
Oh, you think that would help?
It might a little bit. According to people on forums, it does.
Oh, I was on the only bike I rode was the bike that we're not talking about.
Okay, got it. Sounds good. Cool.
But I did blow some people's doors off.
Did you crash
Got vi-
by crashing into
got-
them, or?
Nope.
Okay,
No.
okay.
No. Good guess though. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know how you were holding off Eli Tomac at on
Right.
Tuesday,
This is the way things work. It should be expected.
Right. Got it.
Some dude said, I've heard red bikes for motocross bikes referred to as vanilla ice cream before, good for everyone, but not the best for anyone. Is that something you would say about the
Whatever I rode.
Yeah, whatever you
red
rode.
bike?
Ooh. Like everybody kind of likes, generally everybody likes vanilla, right? Everybody likes it, but maybe it's not super exciting. But I don't know. I don't think it's vanilla anymore.
No.
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 Yeah.
Are we talking like Rocky Road or just like chocolate?
No, it's not Rocky Road.
Okay.
Not Rocky Road. What's a really good flavor?
What's like we'll just go by ice cream brands like Ben and Jerry's. Ben and Jerry's is like really good, and we'll just do like generic ice cream is like a little before.
It's high grade ice cream. Whatever
Okay.
the most popular flavor is, it's good.
Yeah. I don't know.
think
My
we're good with
favorite's
that.
half baked, so we can just go with that then.
KTM 390 build video. Phil G. I've had a 990 Adventure 1190, got down to a G650 GS Centero, and Sierra F250L. After watching this video, I understand the quirks of this bike, and they can be fixed. Now I can consider buying one. Thanks for the video. No BS, talk straight to what really needs to be done.
Hey Logan, were you paying attention on the what did we do that question 2 shows ago maybe?
Yeah.
Were you sleeping on that show, or are you reading off the notes from the show two shows ago?
It could have been one that got picked up from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. So
I think,
so
sorry,
the-
I think
so-
I failed in screening these questions.
oh.
I was the one who put these together.
Hey
No.
Matt, if you were giving Logan a grade, like he'd get an what would he get for like he'd get good at attendance, right? His attendance grade would be good,
Yeah.
but his performance grade would be kind of like mediocre or bad.
I don't know. I set them up. I put these questions together, and I thought I
Oh.
had screened through the last few shows. So The jury's still out on his grade, but for
Then
me, for putting the
then
questions together, my grade's not good. I think my grade's what my GPA was in high school right now.
right. Well, you guys are both getting your dirt bikes taken away from you till
That's
this
kind of a
till this
blessing
till
for
this
me.
improves. This
It's a
has to
blessing for me.
improve, or
My
your dirt bikes are getting taken away. Okay, give me a new question.
Contoritos.
You notice this mask is making me infuriated,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Deers
dude.
from
The mask cops might come by. I got to be careful.
Deers from DBT. Your first part of this video made me consider this 390 adventure. I ordered one and might get it in 2 weeks. Nevertheless, KTM reliability is a matter of discuss all over the internet. What has been your experience regarding reliability of this model? Any recommendations? I can still change for a Japanese brand. I'd not go for BMW. My mechanic, a former BMW mechanic, recommended me to stay away from recent BMW models.
Okay, so again, hopefully we don't have a lot of repeat customers on the show, because I'm going to say that. So you guys should answer this question based on within like a 200-foot radius of where you guys are sitting right now. There's a lot of different motorcycles. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of them are what?
A lot of them KTMs.
Yeah.
A lot of them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And pretty much everyone's there runs. Logan, when were you born? What year?
05.
Okay, so about 6 of those bikes, I'm guessing, are older than you, and they still run.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are from last year, and they still run. Right.
Yeah.
We ride them hard.
Yeah.
We maintain them as needed. Nothing special.
Yep.
So I would say that our experience is that what he's worried about is not something to worry about.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Especially with that bike, like that one. There's only been the display issues, and everything else has been fine.
Yeah, we have one of those that you guys have both ridden.
Yeah,
and it's the only the display is the only thing that's been a little bit of an issue. And but the only thinking of all the KTMs there, the only ones that aren't running are the one that I took apart because it had 800 hours on it, and I'm waiting for the cylinder to come back. And the other one is my old 950 that has 100,000 miles on it or more, and the battery's dead because I don't ride it enough. So I would say the same for almost any other brand. If you maintain a bike and take care of it, you're not going to have any problems with it. But if you read the internet, you should probably just stop riding. Yeah, because everything's going to break. Because everybody runs, and bad news travels fast.
Right. Travels faster than good news. And I mean, my my uncle used his 04 or 03 450 still runs just fine. Yeah, the KTM EXE. So.
But now they're making them out of what, paper mache?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the entire engines are made out of paper mache. So you can't, because that's cheaper.
Less weight.
Less weight too.
Yeah, and they blow up a lot easier apparently, according to the internet.
Yeah.
Because we all know everything on the internet's true.
Like 95% of it at least.
Right. I believe everything I read in there. So cool.
Polo Forte. Why didn't you change the ugly scooter like exhaust and manifold? Also, no changes to the suspension. How many horsepower and torque did you gain?
So that's on the 390 also, right?
Yes.
Right. I mostly
So
put it
why-
in there for the scooter exhaust and manifold
This-
part about that, because I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with him on that one.
Well, I mean, so why didn't we replace it? Because that's an easy way to, kind of, boost the power to a certain extent. But, you know, you have to do some tuning. You can't just pluck the exhaust off of anything and put something else on it, especially on an emissions bike. And
Right.
frankly, I think the thing actually runs pretty good. And I didn't want it to be obnoxiously loud. And I've seen some systems on the Dukes. I've never really seen one on an adventure bike, but they were all loud. And when I'm riding an adventure bike, I don't want a big blaring loud exhaust going. I'm sure you could save some weight. That's an easy way to save weight. And it probably for sure could look better because there's these two bulbulous mufflers under it. But at the time, I didn't feel a need to change that. And there wasn't any that were, jumping out of wherever factories they were produced being sent to us to say, hey, try or test this. Because a lot of times when they send those, they're, and I have a reputation for not liking really loud exhausts.
Mhm.
So maybe there isn't one out there. I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it because I didn't feel the need for it. Like we said in that video, when we started modifying stuff, we chose our modifications based on our complaints and needs, and we didn't necessarily have a complaint with the standard exhaust system. So that's can it be improved upon? Sure. Is there something out there? I don't know. So
Right. And yeah, personally, and also keeping in mind what that bike is for, like I didn't feel like it needed like any extra power unless you wanted to change it from what it's originally designed for. If that makes sense.
And even if you want a little bit more performance, that wasn't necessarily the best path I felt to go and try to get it. So yeah, I mean, how much you riding that thing wide open?
Not very much at all. I know I had to ride it a little bit in the higher RPMs than I normally would because of that recluse, but I didn't really feel like I needed any extra power or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. So
Chris Smith, what he says, I need to wear a mask because exhaust comes out of the pipe.
One pipe instead of two.
One pipe instead of two.
On the bike, you may or may not.
Oh, it has one pipe, but there's no exhaust. You don't have to. Yeah.
So I have a question that doesn't necessarily pertain to the last 48 hours. Why does Honda keep going back and forth from one exhaust to two exhausts and then keep saying why one is better than the other each time they do it?
That's a really good question. I can talk about it. They never say like one is better than the other. They just point out the advantages of each every time they reintroduce the other type of system.
Mm-hmm.
So now, of course, we're talking about it being more narrow, and there's a loss of weight, more narrow. All the other things. When they have two exhaust systems, they talk about better performance and less sound for the same amount of power, and increased tuning opportunities and just different stuff like that. So and I'm pretty sure they have some kind of patents on that particular system, which makes it difficult for other manufacturers to do. But I'm not 100% sure because there were some bikes in Europe that actually Huskies had it, and TMs for a while had twin pipe bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I don't know. I actually like some of the characteristics that a twin pipe on a 4-valve 4-stroke provides.
Okay.
There's the top end power advantage and stuff like that, and obviously they decided that they were going to go a little bit different direction, which is obvious with the 450 as well.
Okay. And Trevor, what do you have any input? Like, I just want to ask you, like, do you prefer like the one pipe or the two pipe system?
I I think 2 pipes looks kind of cool, but it's
Okay.
also kind of more expensive. That's about all I've got.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna guess you prefer the single pipe then, or
Yeah.
sorry.
My brand of choice apparently comes with 1 exhaust, so I guess I got to say
Brand of choice.
Brand of choice. Yeah. Got it. Cool. So yeah. There was I saw a good question in the chat. If I can pull it back up here. Here we go. So this is from Robert Pfister. Here, Logan, do you want to read that or?
Sure.
Okay.
I've been having troubles with my clutch on my 06 CRF 250R. It's extremely hard to pull in. I've tried lubricant on the cable. I think I'm going to have to replace it. Any advice before I go spend money?
He's tried lubricating the cable, but it's still stiff.
Yes, I believe so.
Is he okay? So the real easy thing to do, if you have a motorcycle and you're curious about the where it's like where the problem is coming from, is take, disconnect the cable from either the clutch arm or up at the lever, and so it's free, so you can move it and see if there's any drag in the cable. So you're going to try to isolate the problem. Is there a drag in the cable? So is there a problem there? And then if it is it because the cable's bad or it's been rusted or crap has gotten in there? So you can see if the cable's free. And then also at the same time, when the lever's loose and by itself, check the lever. You can grease up the pivot. Sometimes, dirt gets in that, or it gets galled up or something gets bent or I've seen people over tighten their lever. The pinch, the pivot bolt is actually squeezed down too tight and it makes the lever bind. So you can check this. And then if those two things are nice, then maybe there's something inside of the case. So where the clutch activation arm goes down inside of the case, I've seen the seals dry up or, kind of get tight. I've seen inside of there not be any lubrication, like the oil from inside the case isn't getting into the shaft that thing sits inside of. Mm-hmm. So you got to isolate the problem and see what it is, because the cable may be good and it may be someplace else. So that's what I would suggest. And and then I've seen other people like put a new clutch in and they get some springs with the new clutch and the springs are stiffer and all of a sudden that causes the problem, or lots of little things like that. So if this is just something that's happened over time, I would guess maybe the cable is getting stiff. That'd be the first thing I'd go to as well. But if you change something recently in the clutch and all of a sudden this happened, then look at what you did.
Okay. Chris Real had also put in the chat to check the clutch basket for wear.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's actually excellent. So he's talking about like internally, the basket, sometimes just from over, a lot of use, the clutch, the ears on the clutch plates that stick out and go into the basket will actually wear grooves into it. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard for them to expand because they kind of get locked into those grooves in the basket. So yeah, and excellent. That's why I'm glad there's a lot of people that are way smarter than me out there that can point out the oversights.
Oh, and then just more input on the show.
Add to the discussion. Yeah.
Right. So I actually do have a question about expanding on the grooves. So I thought I had heard somewhere that if you see those grooves, you can actually grind them down, and then keep using that clutch basket. But my question is, wouldn't that actually just add a little too much? It would take away too much of the clutch basket, so where now there's the clutch plates wouldn't be as tight in there as they need to be. So would that affect like the when you're pulling on the clutch, the expansion of the plates?
So young Matt, when I was your age and in your financial position, and I had a YZ125, mm-hmm. I could not afford another clutch basket. So I did exactly what you were just saying, mm-hmm. because my bike had so much time on it, and they'd worn like that. So I actually pulled the basket out and filed them, and it did work, but mm-hmm. It was effective. It wore out again. over time it wore again, but it basically allows the plates to wobble, go back and forth based on acceleration or deceleration. The whole clutch can so it got worse quicker, and if you take off too much material, you're definitely weakening it. But it was a viable solution at the time when I didn't have the $150 to get another clutch basket.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that works.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, good to know. Cause I actually, that 125 that I had rebuilt, it had those grooves in that clutch basket. So, that's why I actually wanted to ask you about that. So giving me tech tips. So I think we got another question in the chat, but I'll have Logan read it.
Jeff Pervost. How's the ISDE riders conditions team / club USA or others looking?
I don't know. I heard that Taylor Robert got wadded up like last week or something.
Yeah.
Got hurt, and that's not good for it. But I haven't really paid a ton of attention, to exactly. Wait, are we talking about racing here? And let Trevor answer the questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go that beer that Trevor bought me. I'm gonna go make it go away real quick.
Okay.
Because I had to do a lot of hydration after riding for 6.9 hours.
Right. Well, I know eating a banana as much as the way you were could also take it out of you. Take a lot of work.
Oh yeah. This is not a banana problem.
Oh, well, there's a 2-inch rule when taking a bite in bananas.
So what was the question again?
How's USA looking for ISDE?
I would say pretty good. The World Trophy team, that was Taylor, who's hurt, so he's kind of questionable if he can make it or not. But he's always solid. Ryan Sipes, he's good. Who are the other two? I can't think of who the other two riders are, but I'm sure. Oh, Lane Michael, he's been there. He won it before. And there's one other rider, but I can't think of. So he's looking good. Then the junior team, they've got Dante Oliveira. He was in, I think it was Portugal in 2019. And as a club rider, he outright won a day overall as a club rider. So he's only gotten a lot faster since then. So he'll be really solid. And Preston Campbell, he was out at Jimmy's house right before we went to this Honda intro. And I was out helping him with some special tests and riding stuff. And then we did a Jimmy Lewis off-road training class, which Matt was there to witness. And I think we made progress. He's looking good. He's getting ready to fly over there in the next week or so. So I think we're looking good.
Yeah. Well, I know you guys were. No. I was actually gonna point out that your turns are looking a little bit better already.
Work in progress.
Yeah. And and you guys definitely should have starts down as well.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, sweet. So while you're on, there was a question about the because you were putting the GYTR head on that 250, right?
Yes, we have.
Okay, so we actually have a question about that if you want to take it.
Sure.
BK Frick, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about the GYTR head in the 250.
I haven't had enough time on it to really give it a good rundown, and we're messing with mapping because kind of with the GYTR app, they have some different maps that they recommended to run in it. So we haven't had a chance to run through those yet. But overall, it's more powerful.
Okay.
Is it worth $2,000 or whatever it is? That's to be decided yet, but it is more powerful. If that helps. And Jimmy might be able to answer a little bit on that too.
Is he back?
So I'm back. Feel like 20 pounds lighter.
Did you hear the question?
About the GYTR head, yeah.
Yeah.
So so when we got it and put it on, and we had the the WR, which is kind of more in a YZ spec, our WR. So it's in a very similar spec as it's not a WR anymore with that competition ECU. So we had a bike that was very similar to kind of compare it to, and we went out and did roll-ons, which is it's like a dyno. It's a show of power. And we did a lot of different ones. We did drag race, all the different kind of roll-ons we do in a battery test, and we compare stuff. And every single time, and it didn't matter who was on the bike, and I'm 30 pounds heavier than you.
Yeah.
The bike with the FX with that head on it pulled the WR from, and we started at different RPMs and did it, like I said, did it in different gears.
Mm-hmm.
Like Trevor said, is it worth, $2,000 or whatever it costs? It depends on, in my world, it depends on what you're really trying to achieve. Like in 250F world, there's a little bit of horsepower that's easy to get, and then it gets ridiculously expensive afterwards. And so that's kind of where that would be at for this bike. But kind of it to me, it didn't, when we rode it around, it didn't feel as fast as it was. Does that make sense? Like when you were just riding before we did the roll-ons, you would not think it would be that much like faster. No. And it's not faster, kind of like this other thing that we rode. It's not a faster thing, it just pulls harder. That makes sense.
So it like,
but you don't
acceleration.
Yes, for sure it has better acceleration. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, then there's a kind of a similar question that goes hand in hand with that.
I'd like to do this to my 2019 WR 450F. Thoughts?
Oh, put the cylinder head on it.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
On a 450?
I don't know.
Do they have it, right?
They have it. I just don't know what it does to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it does almost, it's a similar thing, but like, how much power do you need or you want? I mean, like on a 250F, you're looking for every little bit, and on a 450, you're looking for drivability and controllability, and it probably goes that direction. But I think there would be much less expensive ways to get it. But then again, it's not a GYTR head. It's not, like, people want, like, we were talking about this with kit suspension. We were talking with, this at the course of this intro, we're talking to, factory mechanics about just suspension and kit suspension and just different things and why they're better and why they're not better. So it's kind of like, I mean, if you have the money and you want to get it, I don't think what we say as far as in a performance thing is, I mean, yeah, you can verify that it's good, but I think these things, especially when they're sold by someone like Yamaha, when it's a GYTR thing, they're pretty convinced that it's kind of verified to do whatever it's supposed to do. It's not like a flashy gimmick thing that you're buying off some guy on the internet. Yeah. So,
right.
Yeah.
So, and also my thought when I first saw this is, I don't really know what you would gain from putting, something like that on what's supposed to be a trail bike, right? Like, I feel like you'd just be adding something a little. You'd just be kind of adding a little bit more race to a trail bike.
Yeah, you can. You're gonna make it. It's probably gonna pick up some torque and some throttle response. Probably maybe some peak horsepower too. But at that point, you should have just gone and bought a used Husaberg 570, and then you would realize how much time you're wasting trying to get power out of a measly Yamaha 450. Yeah, where's the bell? Where's the bell?
Oh,
yeah.
How did I?
Hold on. We don't have the live studio audience, so there's one right over there, Logan.
Yeah. Right
next to the streaming PC.
Yeah, I think Logan needs to do like push-ups for not having that.
After the show, well, we can have him do them
right
in front of the camera for you.
Don't you like it how I can just slide that Husaberg in there at any point?
Yeah, well, just you wait till the Rooster Endo or Rate My Bike later. We're gonna do something a little special.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you'll like it. You might like it, you might not, but you're not here to stop us. So
I'm glad I went and took a piss. I didn't want to wet my pants.
well,
Okay,
I'm glad
where we
you saved
at?
yourself from that embarrassment. So another
The-
question here.
DVT Instagram post on YZ450FX. Carne Asada 81 says, I know it rips high speed and has a great suspension package, but how does it do in slower, more technical trails?
Power wise handling, it's definitely it's not a KTM. When you get in that tight stuff, like you can feel the weight more. It's a little harder to throw around like trees and stuff. My arms are all cut up because of that.
Oh, did you post something? Is that why we're getting the questions?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like a week ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can feel in that instance you can feel the weight, the added weight on the scale weight.
But it's like any 450 at that point. And
Yeah.
and I wouldn't even say that the Yamaha is better or worse than the KTM or a Honda 450. They're all just 450s and they're big. The only like the one thing I always say is like a 350 is like so ideal for those kind of conditions. And I always wish Yamaha would make a 350 because if they made one, it would get the advantages like the 250 motor has with that design with really good power.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still a big bike, but I remember riding it back east. We rode them back at Randy Hawkins' place. We rode the 450 and I think of all of we rode the FX and the WR. And I remember just thinking that the FX was such a good tool for a 450. Like the WR, I didn't like it as much. I thought the FX did better just because it felt a little more lively, a little lighter.
Yep.
And especially now that it's on that new chassis and the new package, it continues to do that. So if you're looking for a 450 to do tighter technical trails, you're not going to go wrong by buying that particular bike at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, good to know. Okay. So here's another question from the chat.
Yeah. Dave Black says, I'm doing my first rally in September. I'm considering upgrading the pegs on my 2022 Husky 501. I've seen foot pegs that pivot, others are dampened or have heel extensions. What are your thoughts on some of these designs?
So I'm especially like even on my KTM 500s that I set up for rally, I actually put like adventure bike kind of they're rally pegs. They're wider, meaning they're farther out. They're wider, so they're farther away from the frame, so it gives you more leverage and a lot more place to put your feet. And they're also sometimes they're a little thicker, so a bigger platform. And I typically use the IMS pegs. They have IMS rally pegs, and then they have like ones that are normal, and then they have ones that are really sharp. And I can kind of go either way depending on how much I like my boots to be sold or resold. Because the sharp ones can just destroy boots. Mm-hmm. So I do, like I said, I always go with the bigger peg on a bike that I'm doing rally stuff on. I have tried the pivot pegs and I absolutely can't stand them. I personally cannot stand them because if my peg moves, I don't have anything to index where the bike is at. Like I use the flatness of the foot peg, or I use the edges of the foot peg to kind of tell me what the bike's doing. And if I lose, if my foot is like wobbling on that foot peg because the foot peg is wobbling, I end up having a really big problem. So for me, that's not a very good solution. I've seen guys that have bad ankles and different things use those, but I literally feel as if I'm falling off the motorcycle when I'm riding a bike like that. And I have almost fallen off a motorcycle when I hopped on a bike that had those on them and I didn't know, because I didn't know I was falling off the back because they pivoted. The ones that have the what do you call it? He called the heel on the back of it.
Yeah, the heel extenders.
Those are Pro Moto Billet makes those. They're Fastway. Pro Moto Billet or Fastway makes them. They're designed so that if you're riding kind of more on the balls or the toes of your feet, and you have a big impact or a heavy impact, that your ankle can't pivot, which would, like with a lot of people, tear your Achilles tendon or tear your calf, and because that plate on the back, the heel on the back is actually down quite a bit lower, so you wouldn't necessarily ever feel it unless you really dropped your ankles down. And the only people I've heard notice them are somebody when they really like bottom out or over jump a jump and they flexed and it actually did what it was supposed to do. Or I've seen really tall riders that actually have to bend their ankles and kind of ride on their toes and let their ankles fall back. I've seen them complain about them because they got in the way of them being able to drop their foot back down. So I don't necessarily think it's like an option for like, comfort or control. It's more of kind of a safety thing built in for a rider that, wants that added benefit. If you're up on your toes and your foot really gets slammed down, it actually kind of stops it from folding up and tearing things.
George had put in the chat about IMS Rally Footpegs. Are you familiar with those?
I saw that right now. Yeah, those are, so the IMS ones are the Rally ones, and he also put the Black Dog Cycle Works ones in there.
Which those are awesome.
The ones, yeah. He also put that in there because they have a bottle opener.
Oh yeah.
On the bottom.
If you haven't,
important for the right person. Yeah, it's in the video.
Yeah,
Go to YouTube.
Go check out the 390 video and you'll see my demonstration in there. Which I was hoping one day I hope there's gonna be a comment in there about how great the editing is, so I can put that in the show. But I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Hey, Matt, don't go fishing for positive comments. Just do stupid things and people will comment all day long.
Perfect.
Like
Okay.
shove a banana in your face and you'll be famous on some other moto journalist site.
Well, you might. Yeah, I don't want to be famous for the connotation sometimes.
I roosted that guy. It's okay.
Just like you roosted some other high level talent that you can't talk about.
No, well, I splashed mud on Eli Tomac, but that was like a different story. The other guys, they just blew their doors off. It was like they were riding 110s or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
it was literally like they were riding like CRF 110s, and I was on a 250R.
Oh, okay. The picture's starting to become a little bit more clear now. It's starting to make more sense. Got it. Okay. Cool. So Logan, next question.
Solar SS. What's the best fork seal replacement on the KTM WP 4CS? And should I have the rear shock non-leaking currently rebuilt at the same time as the front forks?
So he wants to know what's the best fork seals to put in it?
Yes.
So there, I know for a while there was two different colors of fork seals. There was red ones and green ones or something like that. And everybody was saying, okay, this one's better. And then there was that one was better. And they're kind of going back and forth. And in all the time that I've done this, and I've used other seals. I bought seals from All Balls. I've done some from, what's the other company that does Pivot Works? Has different seal kits, and I've got them in a lot of different bikes, and I've kind of been trying to test them. And I've over all this time, if you buy stock seals, they seem to have the least amount of stiction, but all of them, I don't have any evidence to say that one works better than the other, that lasts longer than the other. Because generally when the seals start leaking, it's from a nick in the forks or from a lot of mud or dirt getting into them, over time. And just sometimes they just wear out from getting, from being old. So I would go with kind of like, if you're sending your suspension in and have it done, I would go with what your suspension guy is happy with, because he's going to be familiar with that. And he can recommend it. And then, you know, that's a good thing. They have, you know, the suspension guys all have their favorites, and a lot of times they know it works with the oil and the grease that they use, and they're, you know, however it works. But I've thrown every fork seal at my KTM forks and had, I would call it, normal success, normal performance. Everything's good. I haven't had like one seal that's like ridiculously more stiction than the other one. You know, but I also lube them up with seal grease, and, you know, when I put them all together, it's all done properly. It's the proper seal. And so I don't think that there's one that's better than the other, that much better. But like most things, stock is probably the safest thing to go with. And then he wanted to know when his shock was.
It says he has 98 hours on the fork shock.
98 hours? Is that right?
I think that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he has it in here. Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been rebuilt 2 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, however long it took you to get, I mean, 40 hours is pretty long. Yeah, you'd say.
That's pushing it.
Yeah, 40 hours is really, I mean, I used to notice a degradation in performance at about like 15 hours. Things would start kind of tapering off. So, you know, I'd have to start adding clicks of dampening to achieve the same performance. So I would, I would say it needs to be done, and you should probably make sure he does all the bushings and yes, it needs to be changed. Yes. Hopefully the shock body isn't worn too much. Piston ring bands, all that stuff probably will need to be replaced, and it will make a substantial difference in how well they perform.
Right. I do have actually a question about the seal, the fork seals.
Right.
Because so the shop I worked at in Alaska, we used to, they were big fans of, I think, the SKF's double lip. They have like the double lipped fork seal.
Right.
Now, do you have any preference on those, or would you still just say stock is probably the way to go?
So you in Alaska, you're riding a lot of mud, yeah?
A lot of mud, yeah.
A lot of mud, a lot of wet conditions and freezing. You know, the stuff would like freeze and different things. So in those conditions, sometimes those double lip seals actually will last a little bit longer. But
Okay.
you know, we're riding mostly desert, dry, dusty. We won't have that kind of an issue. But
Right.
typically some of those they've kind of changed over time. Like the original, I remember the original double lip seals were just too sticky. They were too much. There was literally too much stiction in them, and so it wasn't, kind of, for a lot of people, it wasn't worth the performance. But I think they've made them better. I haven't used them because in our area we don't really need to use them that much.
Mm-hmm.
So yep.
Right. And then also one thing that we that they would run into is like a lot of gunk would just get caught up in those fork seals, and sometimes just taking like a credit card or something to
Not
all that gunk out.
Yeah, not a credit card, something really thin. Like we used to use like film, like, you know, from the camera that shot film.
Mm-hmm.
They make, you know, like there's companies that make special tools that are very thin.
I think Motion Pro makes one.
So you can use tear-offs, like a tear-off from a goggle will actually, Motion Pro makes this tool. Like a tear-off from the goggle will go in there and you know, kind of clean that out. But yeah, that's you know, especially between the lips, you know, because between those two lips on the seal, it can kind of hold some junk in there, just like between your dust seal and the regular seal, like, you know, junk can get up in there and it just sits in there and it doesn't do any good. So when you're riding that's like in the beginning, I said, hey, you know, talk to your local suspension guy, the guy that's going to do your suspension. If he's familiar with your area, you know, he might know something better than what we can know just from kind of recommending it on the show.
Right. Sticking on the forks, George actually asked a pretty good question.
What's your opinion on neoprene fork covers?
Neoprene fork covers. I don't know. That's a good question. Because I have them on a couple bikes, and and like they kind of can pre-wipe the fork and kind of keep it clean, but then they can also kind of get contaminated with extra dirt and then be dirty. And again, I have some neoprene ones. I have these other ones that are it's like a nylon sock or something that goes around the whole fork that kind of keeps the dirt from mud from splashing up and sticking. And I just haven't yet seen any sort of definitive results to say this is a good system to test. But like I said, we're not in a really harsh environment for fork seals and things. Our biggest thing is having rocks kick up on the fork and put a ding on it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So I thought I had heard actually from Mojave Bob that the fork guards that wrap around the bottom of the fork were a little bit more effective at protecting those dings for when compared to like their traditional like just in front of the fork guards that were just in front of the fork leg.
Yeah, take anything Mojave Bob tells you with a grain of salt.
Got it.
Or
I did buy his bike, so.
Or a pound of weed.
All right. Okay, so next question.
Oh, IGJM. For my desert bike, I tried Michelin Starcross 5 soft front, medium rear. I don't have much experience with tires. Not sure if I should stick with that or try medium or a different tire combo.
Did he tell you where he was riding?
Desert.
Desert. You said desert, right?
Yeah, for his desert bike.
Yeah, like super sandy desert or like, rocky, shitty
I think he just,
desert.
He just says desert. Maybe he's
desert.
still in the chat and he can put it in.
Yeah, Logan, you can answer that question as good as I can because we don't know. It's hard. It's a hard question. I mean, he said he put them on, right?
Yeah, he has the soft front and the medium rear.
So how did it work?
He said he didn't put that in. He just said he doesn't have much experience with tires. So
if you put them on, hopefully he's ridden and he can tell me how they work, and then I can make recommendations based on that. Because people have different feels for tires,
mm-hmm.
and so if you have them on the bike, ride it and see what you think, and then if you say, hey, the front end's behaving like this, or I didn't like the durability of that or something, then we can kind of go from there. But it's everybody's, like I said, that's a problem with like a lot of people saying, oh, this is great, this is like great for who, for you, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, see if we can do a little more reconnaissance on that question.
Yeah, so I GM or I JM, go ahead and comment where you're riding, and then we can help you out a little bit more. So we do have another question right here. It's pretty good.
Curly Stoker, 2017 TX 300 stock stator running a TT Voyager TE 300 headlight, which has an off switch and mostly it's off, and also a TT fan. At what point do I need to consider an aftermarket stator to get more charging output? I got the bike just before 2017, brand new. And just this week I put a new battery in it. The stock one would not survive a tight technical ride where the fan was running a lot. Clearly not rider induced.
So 2017, that battery's probably at the end of its life cycle. And so I would put a new battery in. And then if this problem continues, actually with the TrailTech Voyager, here's what you do. Turn your TrailTech Voyager on and set one of the monitoring functions to input voltage. So it'll show you what your bike is putting out. It'll show how much voltage is available in that bike, and you can watch it. And so it needs to be up around like 12 and a half or higher most of the time. So if when your fan comes on, or when, you know, you're using all of your things, and that voltage starts dropping down below 12, at that point, you need a stator. You know, and sometimes some batteries are really good and they'll take that low voltage the whole time and still have enough to be able to start the bike and operate it. But it depends on how long, like you said, on an all-day trail ride, all of a sudden your bike you no longer have electric start. Luckily, you have a Kickstarter on that bike. So that'll get you out of the biggest problem. But, you know, now with a lot of the bikes that don't have Kickstarters, this can be an issue. So that's the easy thing. You have the tool to check it. If you didn't have the tool, you could, you know, hook a voltmeter up to the bike and kind of watch and see what your battery output is. Or if your battery just slowly goes dead over the course of a ride, then this is a concern. A bigger stator you need.
Also, you check out your owner's manual. It tells you how much power output the bike puts off. And then I'm sure Trail Tech has info on how much power it requires. And you can kind of do the math that way.
Yeah, I don't like math. I do it.
That's not that bad.
Plug and play way. I'm not smart enough for the math thing, but that's what Trevor would do. Trevor would like calculate it all out. Aren't you a physicist, Matt?
Yeah, I have a physics degree.
You should have told him. You should have told him to answer that. Can't you base it on how many electrons are flowing in a certain direction or something?
Oh, I think you could do it a little bit easier with Ohm's law.
Ohm's law, yeah. I heard about that once. Gotta watch the YouTube video.
Or Khan Academy. There's multiple resources out there. Anyway, so Solar SS did say thank you. The OEM parts was what he was leaning towards, and he says he will do a full rebuild, and he'll make sure to do it earlier next time.
Oh, good, on the shock. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ricky Brayback is saying he hoped you enjoyed the track up there, and he'll see you at Glamis tomorrow.
I'm not gonna can't make it to Glamis tomorrow. Have to pass.
Okay, yeah.
Because I mean, like if I went out there, I'd blow all those guys' doors off, and it's getting ridiculous. Like I'm gonna start having like people are gonna call me. They're gonna want me to start racing again or something.
I know you might get maybe you'll get on a factory Honda rally bike. Okay. Cool. I think.
How are we doing? Is a plane landed? Do we have a plane out there?
You plane coming in? Does it have gas?
Oh,
or fuel?
Does the plane have fuel?
Yeah, it's been an issue.
Oh, really? Is that why my plane's late? Because there's no gas for it?
That might be why. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly why. I know Reno was definitely having problems.
Yeah.
Big old fuel shortage going on.
Okay. So we should get to Rooster Endo, right?
If you want to. Yeah. Because
you told me when we started this thing, you told me you were going to run the show.
Yeah, I'm running it. I'm making sure that all my guests are on the same page.
Right. Okay.
I'm
gonna have to get on. I'm hoping I can get on an airplane. Did you rebook me yet? Have you got that taken care
of? No, I'm having my people work on that still. we'll collab on that later.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah.
Hey Trevor, you like Rooster Endo?
So yeah, we'll do a Rooster Endo.
You don't even know what Rooster Endo is. Oh boy, here we go. It's this board. Why don't you can watch it on your screen there?
How has he not seen it? Eli Tomac was on it, and Ricky Brayback was on it last week.
Trevor doesn't care.
These guys aren't that big.
It's a board. It's this board that we have.
It's this amazing board.
And it's you send us a picture of your bike, and then we tell you whether it roosts or endos.
That one's wrong.
What's wrong?
The one out front.
Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah. No, so actually, this was something that Logan and I were going to do. We were actually going to move it to where we think the Huserberg 570 ranks.
Yeah, that's not right at all.
I'm going to let Logan move it, and I'm going to try and get this all set up.
Dude, it's off the chart.
It is off. It is off the
On
chart right
the
now.
wrong
It's not
direction.
on it.
No, it's off the chart.
Off
Have you
the chart
have you
for
ridden
number.
that bike yet?
I've not been allowed to touch
Then
it.
you
Trevor does actually need to ride it.
Hey.
He does need to ride it.
It rained last weekend and I didn't get a chance to ride it. A little disappointed.
you should be scared of it.
I am
Jimmy,
scared.
Hey, Logan, you realize you're flirting with your current employment right now as you're doing this, right?
Well, yeah, I guess I could just be over here, but I was trying to keep a job, so I was putting it over here.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still.
we're just
you're
moving it
still-
into a more realistic.
It's
more
really
realistic.
you're playing. You're flirting with disaster there, boy.
Logan, there's plenty of jobs out there. Don't be afraid.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jack in the Box, Little
he
Caesars
hasn't.
Pizza.
He has high employable skill. He's been a riding coach for what, a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't know.
that cush job may not be available when I get home.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know Trevor was digging some riding advice. So
Yep. Okay. So
Coaches.
let's get right
Yeah.
to it, and I'll
Right.
deal with my personnel problems
Cool.
later.
so I have been stalling because I was trying to get the image up on the OBS for us. So the first bike here, let's see if it pops up. There we go. Hope it's not covering the screen too much. Let me know if it's too small or too big. So this first bike is actually from Sean McNee. He didn't give me the model or the year, but I'm gonna assume it's either like a 19 or a 20 Husky 5E. FE. I can't tell if that's a 450 or a 410, but
It looks like a 501. We're guessing
Yeah.
from here.
yeah, something along those lines. So
Is
he's gonna
that
hold that.
is that single or double overhead cam? It's hard to see.
I think there's two.
Yeah.
That'd be 350 if it's a double overhead cam.
Can't tell.
Picture's
Right.
really small. Make it big. I don't
Make it
want to
big?
look at me anymore.
Okay. Do you want me to just put it over you?
Blow it up to the whole size of the screen.
Okay. You know that's not a bad idea. Hold on. I need to make sure that we don't lose our branding though. There we go.
Then Logan doesn't have to hold it all the way up, and then
Yeah.
he can talk. Oh wait, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, he hasn't been helping me out a whole lot. You know, when it's quiet and I'm over here looking at my two monitors. I think he just enjoys taking it all in.
It's a
Yeah.
50. It's a 501. It's a 501. That's just those dark spots didn't help it.
Right. Got it. Cool. So so Sean McNee. So it has a Dal Saggio sphere fork inserts, a Get engine. I'm gonna guess it has an engine tuner somewhere.
Yep.
That just didn't get copy and pasted right. Oh, hold on. The bullet point got cut in half. Get engine management with traction control. That makes more sense. Twisted engineering flex bars. Baja Designs XL80 light. A Zip-D race rotor guard. Samco thermostat bypass hoses. 4.5 gallon IMS tank. A seat concept seat. AXP skid plate. Fast impact Moto peg. He got rid of the horn. Got rid of the emissions. Pro Moto billet end cap. A recluse clutch. And a bunch of other dumb stuff with the laughing emoji.
Anything you see on that bike that looks like something that's on my bike is good.
Uh-huh.
I like
So
the tank.
the recluse.
You like the tank?
I like the gas tank.
Yeah.
Good choice.
So I like if it says
Yeah,
flex bar, but I can't
I
see
just
them.
noticed that the gas tank actually goes out with the shrouds. That's actually pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's a big tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he didn't tell you what year it was.
He didn't tell me the year. No.
So that's
If
gonna
he's watching,
that's,
he can put that in.
no. You're supposed to tell. You should at least tell us what year and he didn't even tell what kind of bike it was.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a 20 or 21.
He didn't tell us what it was, what the bike was.
Right.
I mean, you
It just
could
says
kind
FE
of
on the
see.
side.
You could actually see on the thing up there. You can
Uh-huh.
see it
501.
says it says FE 501, but like just for the bad description, I think it's sliding back on the scale.
Yeah, we have some empty space over here that we do need to fill up. But I think it'd be somewhere between this Husky and then the YZ. That's where I would put it. But if you think it should be a little lower,
Well, you guys are the ones with the pins, and you've
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
jacked up
What do you
where
think,
my
Logan?
Husaberg is. The fact that Husaberg moved that far, it's going to shove everything way farther down on the scale because I'm kind of in a bad mood about this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's still on the roost side. It's just it's behind Dallas's bike and that TT. That TT is really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with your positioning on that 100%.
Okay, at least we didn't put it behind the three wheeler.
No, it's not not going.
Yeah, no, we didn't. No. So I backed Logan down. He wanted to put it on the endo side, and I backed him down from that one.
What kind of tires are on that bike?
Golden tire?
They look like Goldens, don't they? Yeah.
It's in the rear.
This guy he's got a nice Chariot. That's a good bike for him. But I'm mad, so it's gonna go farther down the scale.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
this
you
next
guys
bike.
put it cover up some of that wood. Let's put it that way.
Well, I have. All right. I'll concede to that one.
Next
Put it
time,
over
tell me what brand and what model it is, so we don't have to modify it. Okay, next bike.
All right, so this one, I think it's cool, but I know a lot of people don't. It's a little controversial. It's this is from Chris Reel. It's a 2016 Ural. I'm trying to get the pictures.
Take the picture down. There you go.
Yeah. There we go.
It has children in the photo.
He posted it.
There's children. There's children. There's children in the photo. We don't like kids.
So anyway.
Oh, it has a beer logo. It has a beer logo on the side.
Yeah.
It says Sierra Nevada.
And that company makes great beer, by the way. Great beer.
Yeah, they were kind of anti-land use, so I'm not a big fan.
Oh, okay. But I don't think they.
He's trying to show off. He's trying to show off kids here. This is like he's trying to break the rules. It's almost like it'd be like you going and finding a picture of a Husaberg and taking it and sending it in and saying this is my bike, and you know that you're lying. That's what's going on here. And it has three wheelers, so it's like right next to that thing that George sent in.
Right.
I mean, friend of the show.
I didn't even read what he did to it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah. So 2016 Ural custom. I can never pronounce this company right. Akrapovic 2-to-1 exhaust, recalibrated fuel mixture, special blend of steering dampener fluid, extra large supplemental steering dampener, high and wide handlebars, adjusted alignment, toe in, lean out, and shock spring sags or sag is set.
Well, that's actually, I mean, that's a lot more than I've heard been done. Well, I know. So the having children, trying to use children to further your bike is a really bad thing. Like we start getting photos of like people with their babies on top of their Husabergs. I'm really gonna put a stop to this whole segment.
The ultimate. The ultimate picture to send in is like a Miller High Life on top of a Husaberg.
I only like that because it's cheap. But yeah, I'm liking his setup. So it's going to go in front of the ATC. It's not behind the ATC. It's got to be in front of the ATC.
Is it in front of the bike that was pulled out of a fire?
Yeah, because of the setup, it's going in front of the bike that's pulled out of the fire.
Okay.
But
I actually think Urals are cool, so.
I know it has, but it's three wheeled. We're back to three wheels again, and like
it's got character.
Yeah, it probably has. You know what everybody should be asking? Everybody should be asking is, hey Chris, what kind of oil are you running in that thing? Because he is the most knowledgeable petroleum engineer we've ever had on the show.
Mm-hmm. Right. We want details, specifics on the chemistry of his oil.
Yeah.
Right. No, I'd put it a little bit higher, but I'll concede to it. So also because I want to cover up the blank space on this wood.
Yeah.
And I also feel like Tomac was too nice when he was rating Perkins' Big John's bike.
Yeah, my flight's delayed. I don't have a beer in my hand. Like, you guys are moving my Husaberg around. It's not a good. If your bike's getting picked tonight, it's not a good night.
Oof. All right, so let's get I'm gonna get the picture all set up for the next one here.
Right. Hey Logan, why don't you start telling me what the next one is?
Oh, that image is.
I'll say what
huge.
I see. I see some Kenda tires,
Well, that's good.
some protective stuff.
There's the description.
KTM swing arm protectors, fork shoe guards, bulletproof TPS guard, rear brake switch, bulletproof swing arm guard, a Chevy's crank clutch cover, KTM frame protector, SICAS, hand guards, FMF turbine core 2, P3CF pipe guard, bulletproof shark fin, TM design skid plate, bulletproof rear caliper guard, SICAS ignition switch, kickstart kit, recluse clutch, Scott dampener setup, Tusk headlight switch, Tusk wiring harness, bolt axle blocks, Protec fork guards, Evo low bars, exhaust flange guard, FMF gnarly pipe, Baja Designs headlight, and it's a 2021 300 XCW.
6 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so right on the thing. Does he even ride it?
It is
That
pretty
thing-
clean.
That thing looks pretty clean. I mean, it's a really nice bike, and but it's a wrong day to submit these things because I'm not seeing enough scratches on that thing. And if you're not going to ride it, then you should send it to me so I can ride it, and then I'll send it back to you, and I'll rank it higher next time. So it's kind of in the
I
a
think
little bit on the endo side of the thing right now. I want to see some
I would put it behind
wear
the
marks.
YZ and above this. There is some wear marks by his airbox there, but I have an unpopular opinion that I don't think the 6-day bikes look good.
That's probably from when he put his kid on there to shoot the
For a
photo with his
picture.
kid, and his kid had like those little black sneakers and they left marks on the side.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm with you on there. It's like kind of like middle of the range towards the endo side. But that's, yeah.
That's a sweet bike. That is a really nice bike. But okay.
I just don't like, personally, I don't like the way the 6 days look. So it's because of its upgrades that it's not further down for me.
Oh, you don't like Italians?
No, I just don't like the way the bikes look. No, like I didn't like there was one that was like orange and black. Was it the Portuguese 6 days one? And I thought it was the ugliest KTM I had ever seen.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The French one looked good though. That one I actually did like, where it had the blue and red and everything.
hey, it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So
It is.
I was more looking at all the stuff that was done to it and all the things that I thought was good, but that just picked the wrong day to submit this one. I'm gonna find
Right.
something wrong with it.
Right. All right. Well, this one
Oh,
might have some good stuff, might have some bad
Next.
stuff. We'll see.
Next.
We're working on it.
Airport's
There we
getting
go.
busy. They need to get
Maybe
us
your
on a
plane's-
damn plane.
Maybe your plane's coming in.
I hope so.
Okay. Cool. So here the bike's on the screen right now. And this is
Now,
if you
come
want
on.
one that's been ridden, here you go. So this is Nicholas J. Ninow. It's a 2002 Honda CR250R, 36 millimeter SC2 Smart Carb, 49 millimeter Showa SFF AirTac forks, Racetech gold valves, X-Trig sag adjuster, Tusk wheels, Panthera E-Start, FMF gnarly, FMF turbine core.
Wait, it has
Manual.
it has an E-start on it.
Yeah, it's a CR with an E-Start. And I think you can actually
Wow.
see the wiring but by the handlebars.
Okay. Yeah.
Only halfway through the mods. This thing's awesome.
Keep going.
Recluse manual clutch with recluse basket and clutch cover. IMS tank, 20 millimeter offset triple clamps, a Mako 360, McGrath twin walls, Magura clutch. So I'm guessing that means hydraulic clutch as well, if it's Magura. ARC Nemlon levers, WC skid plate, bolt chain adjusters, 3949 Renthal sprockets, Regina O-ring chain, HP DS2 dampener, nitro bibs, stainless brake lines, and a domino throttle assembly.
You know, I think it needs like about 800 millimeters of pressure washer, because it's like
that's
like
the graphics kit.
It's dirt because it's dirty. Like, I mean, come on, really? You're gonna disrespect this show and send a that's another really sweet bike, but like you got to wash it, bro. I mean, like a little bit, or maybe, I don't know. I actually,
it looks like they just got back from the ride because the bike next to it also has mud all over it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's the next one we're gonna see. And now we're sending pictures of dirty bikes into the show. It's like it's not dirty bike show off your rooster endo thing. It's like I want to see this. I want to see a picture of the side with the E-Star. I didn't know they made the E-Starts for those things, because that's, I don't like kickstarting anything anymore.
Yeah, I can see if I can zoom in on that handlebar actually.
No, I want to see the starter on the side of the motor.
Oh, on the other side. Yeah.
It's on the other side. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a really valiant try. I mean, I'm gonna swing right to the other side. I don't like them brand new, but I don't think I want them too dirty either.
Right.
So yeah, it looks to me like that one and the one that just got rescued out of the fire, they kind of look the same. So it's gonna
this
have
one has
to
a front wheel.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get on a plane here pretty soon. So
okay.
You guys are gonna have to hold down the show. Has Logan got his time figured out? His hot minute, Matt's hot minute.
Oh yeah, well we'll see.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys should debut those particular segments without my guidance.
I think we would need the live studio audience or another person here, because for you guys to do that.
Because you guys think it's like really good when you do it, and then I come in and just shit all over your parade.
Well, no.
Kind of like I do these fine viewers of ours that send in really cool pictures of their bikes.
Yeah. I think we're doing this CR a little dirty, but well, it's also dirty. So
we're doing it dirty. Yeah, we're doing it dirty. It's dirt. We're doing it dirty.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's only one more. Okay, hold on. I got to see what group they're. See, I'm gonna sit in cattle carrier class. Like, I should have just been loaded as luggage. Okay, let's go. What's next?
All right, so this is the last one of the night. This is Jared Jadine. I'm gonna let Logan handle the picture and everything while I actually get it on the stream.
Okay.
So it's a 1990 KX 500 with smart carb, gnarly pipe, Scott's 2014 YZ 450 front end. Okay. 18-inch rear wheel, milled head, and ported.
Having the hardest time getting this thing sized. There we go.
Does it say someplace ape hanger handlebars?
No, but it does kind of look like it. They almost look like beach cruiser handlebars to me.
Yeah.
Like this one I actually thought was a little bit more on the endo side, even though it's a KX 500.
I'm actually trying to get my eyes to focus on some of it.
Yeah, no, I had a hard time. Sorry to all the viewers. I had a hard time sizing this one for some reason.
Hey, ask him what transmission's laying on the ground back there. I might need that for one of my vehicles.
Is it a certain Dodge truck that you might need it for?
So look at those. Not only the ape hangers, look at the handlebar clamps on that thing.
Oh, he's got some bar risers on that, yeah. They are the bar risers.
This guy is probably 9'2". That's crazy.
Maybe this is Big John's old KX 500.
We were talking today about, like, because the Lawrence brothers had ridden Aaron Colton's CR 500, and then Carson Brown was just doing some stuff on a CR 480 for Dirt Bike Magazine up there. And so there's all this, this big bore two-stroke stuff going on. And, they're talking to, like people that didn't have to race these bikes.
Yeah.
We're talking about how rad they are.
Well, you had to race them, right? So.
And back then, I mean, like, you raced them because they were the best things back then. But like, let me be blunt here. These things are such piles of shit. Like, they vibrate and they flex and they do all this stuff. Like, it's so, I mean, but there is nothing like the sound of a nice 500 two-stroke just barking. I'll give you that. But just on, look at the foam grips on that thing. What? Those are bigger than like the ones you get on your freaking, like the ditch digger thing that you walk behind.
Yeah,
which is kind of what this bike is. It's a ditch digger.
George said that the bike doesn't appear to have pegs on it, but yeah, he there's no foot pegs. There is. It just blends in with the stand.
Yeah, maybe they're lowered for this massive human man that's riding this thing.
So I wouldn't want to get in a fight with this guy.
Well, here's the thing: is I was just going to say this is going really far down the endo thing, but I'm afraid this guy's going to show up at my house and thump me. So
he also has. Yeah, I'm going to put it
in front of that really cherry KTM that we just shit all over. Just put it right in front of that, and then we'll call it good.
All right.
So other than that,
you're gonna put this above that CR.
It's as long as it's below, or no. You know what? Nope. I've changed my mind. This needs to go just in front of Big John's CR450. just in front of that. And with that, Matt, I gotta sign off because the TSA is gonna come and look for me if I don't go get on this damn airplane. So hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I have no idea what Matt and Logan are gonna do when I hang up, but hopefully I make it back in one piece. I get delivered back to wherever I came from. So hey, did you thank Climb for helping us out? Thank DDC. Thank Taco Mike. Did you get his reads yet for his
I have not
ads?
gotten his reads yet. No.
Okay, so Taco Mike needs to get his reads in. So if you're a Taco Moto Co, like, send him an email and say he's got to get his reads in and send the check. Yeah, the check so that Logan can go back to school, because the poor child needs to be back in school and it's expensive for me to put him there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. For Trevor.
See ya.
All right.
Jimmy and we're out of here. You guys take over and keep the show alive.
We will. All right. See you guys. Have a good flight. Okay, cool. So that was actually the first time we have ever done a Zoom call on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. So hopefully it worked out for you guys. I thought it worked out kind of well.
Yeah.
I think I need to improve my my hosting skills personally. But yeah, I think that could have gone a little worse than it did. So don't have a whole lot more, but I do have a story to tell. As it's also kind of an interrogation that I have for Logan here, because you see when we drove to the Alpine Star gear intro, I drove all the way out there, and I got there almost like an hour and a half early because I was so excited and I misjudged the traffic, the time it would take to get there. But then we do the gear intro. We ride a lot of really cool bikes, right?
Yes.
Some cool demo bikes. Yeah. I didn't get to ride nearly as much as... No, actually, no, I think we rode about the same amount. Jimmy got an extra lap. He got one more lap before us because he just left. He left us with the ending the stream while he went and rode. If you watched it, or if you haven't seen it, go check out that episode. Is actually up on YouTube right now.
Yes.
But the thing is, we start driving back that night, and we didn't. It was getting pretty late, and so I get tired. So Logan has to take over.
Yeah.
So Logan, this is where it becomes an interrogation. My GPS, when I was getting tired and I had to switch off, it had said that we were going to get into Prump at about 2 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What time did we roll into Prump?
2:45 ish.
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 Yeah, a little bit more around like 3 a.m. So, where did that extra hour come from?
We both took a nap on the side of the road.
Oh wait,
No.
so did we? So when I passed out, did you pull over and then also take a nap? Because
Mm.
that would have been the smart. That's a smart thing to do. But
Yeah, no, that didn't happen. But
Okay.
it's could have been a good excuse.
okay. So that leads me to my next question then. I wasn't sleeping the whole time. I was dozing on and off.
Yep.
What was the speed limit of the place that we were driving?
I think it was 65.
65.
Yeah.
Okay, 65, maybe 55. So why is it I looked over and I saw the speedometer at 45?
I don't know.
You don't know? And to further this point, what was passing us as we were going by Dumont Dunes?
A semi going that way, maybe?
No, a semi truck. So what woke me up was a semi truck was passing us as we were going by Dumont Dunes. We're driving at a 65 mile per hour speed limit. I look over at the speedometer and we're doing 45. So I think I know where that extra 45 minutes from when you took over to pulling the perump.
Well, after Shoshone, I was going like 5 to 8 over the whole way back, but that
Okay.
was only for like 28 miles.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's fine if you don't want to speed, but we were going 20 miles per hour under the speed limit.
Yeah.
So yeah, George, I agreed. It's better than 105, and I would rather him go 45 than 105, especially because there's a second part to this rant because we were turning back into Pahrump, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, obviously it's dark at this point, but
Mhm.
you have a hard time when you're turning. You have a hard time making sure you're in the right lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feared for my life a couple times. It woke me right up because he was making a right turn, and we ended up rather than staying, in the right lane, we turned into the left lane, almost went off the side of the road. I think I asked you if you were okay at this point. At this point,
Yeah.
I was genuinely concerned for him. Like it wasn't. I asked him multiple times if he was okay. But
Yeah.
what was your response?
I don't know.
Because
Was it-
I swore you had said something like, "Oh yeah, I just have a hard time staying in the lane when I'm turning," or something like that. You made it sound like this was a regular thing.
Well, all I'm saying was that the road was lower than where we were at the start of the turn, so I didn't know where the turn was.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I had no clue where the turn was. I had the blinker on for about a mile, quarter
Mhm.
mile or so. So the blinker was on for that's
A
probably
very
what
long
woke
time.
you up.
That's another thing. The blinkers. They'd be on for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But
So just didn't see it.
wait, you didn't see
Overshot.
you didn't see the lane?
Not really. I knew that it was over there. I knew I was gonna hit road most of the time.
Most of the time. You should be
But-
on the road 100% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oops.
Oops. But yeah, no, Dennis, we are the riding instructors, but
We
Uh,
ride dirt bikes, not cars.
Logan is not the driving instructor. You did get good driving advice from Jimmy the other day, though, when we were driving up to his cabin. That was good.
Which part?
Oh, when you were driving up there.
Yeah.
Like you were getting good when he was telling you what you were
Oh,
doing. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
good. But anyway. Yeah, so that doesn't have anything to do with motorcycles. It's just a story I thought I'd like to share to embarrass Logan a little bit. That's kind of like the last thing that I really have for this show. What about you, Logan?
Alpine Stars gear stuff. What bikes we rode, maybe.
Yeah.
You had a really big liking of one bike.
Oh, yeah. I did get to ride the I think it was a 21 YZ250F, and that was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. I gelled with it, and it was my first time on the track in a couple of years. And It's probably because it was the first time I had ridden a motocross bike on a motocross track in a long time. But I was singing the praises of Blue Crew the whole way home that night. But
Yeah.
yeah. I saw you on a couple bikes.
Only 2.
Only 2?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Jimmy's YZ, which
Yeah.
he says it's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your verdict on Jimmy's YZ?
It was better than sitting out on riding.
Okay.
It was better to ride it than just go sit.
The not to, but
Yeah.
is it? Did you think that it was capable of like keeping Eli Tomac behind him?
Maybe with Jimmy on it, but not with me.
Okay,
Or
okay.
the rest of the public.
The rest of the public.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I truly believe Jimmy's story about holding Eli Tomac off, but
Yeah.
anyway, that's kind of everything for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, thank you everyone for bearing with us. I know we're not the normal hosts. We're not the dirt bike experts here, but
Nope.
we know one.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, thank you very much. I hope you guys all have a great night, and we'll see you out on the trails.